Welcome to you from Inside Drug Discovery. This video covers a new drug, NUZOLVENCE, which was recently approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This video describes mostly the drug's medicinal chemistry properties rather than outcomes in patients. NUZOLVENCE was approved on December 12th of 2025. NUZOLVENCE is approved for the treatment of uncomplicated urogenital gonorrhea from Neisseria gonorrhoeae infection. NUZOLVENCE's active pharmaceutical ingredient is zovafloticin. The drug is administered orally as a suspension as a single dose of 3 grams. The sponsor for the NDA is Innoviva Specialty Therapeutics, and I believe the drug was approved through an R&D partnership with other organizations. A link to the prescribing information insert of NUZOLVENCE is shown on this slide as well as in the video description. Let's flesh out the indication more completely. NUZOLVENCE is for uncomplicated gonorrhea, meaning the infection has not spread beyond the original site of infection. The infection should be caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae, which I think is redundant, as I believe gonorrhea is defined as a Neisseria gonorrhoeae infection. The drug is indicated in patients of age 12 years or higher, and patients must weigh at least 35 kilograms, which is 77 pounds. I'll mention a couple other points about the drug. Some key advantages mentioned by the sponsor include A, the full dosing regimen is just a single dose, and B, the drug can be taken by patients who have hypersensitivity to penicillins and other beta-lactam antibiotics. NUZOLVENCE, or at least the API in NUZOLVENCE, which is zoliflodacin, acts as an inhibitor of bacterial type 2 topoisomerase. Structurally, zoliflodacin is categorized as a spiropyrimidine trione, which we will highlight more on the next slide. There isn't a lot of readily available in vitro activity on zoliflodacin, but IUPhar's Guide to Pharmacology lists the IC50 of zoliflodacin on E. coli DNA gyrase, a type of topoisomerase, as 169 nanomolar. According to the NUZOLVENCE press release, the drug does have evidence of activity against drug-resistant Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Here are the physicochemical properties of zoliflodacin. I said I would highlight the structure a bit. Zoliflodacin is a spiropyrimidine trione. On its structure, we can see the pyrimidine ring, the 6-membered ring with 2 nitrogens, which contains 3 carbonyls. That's the pyrimidine trione. This ring is spirofused to the rest of the structure. That gives the spiropyrimidine trione structural class. Now, none of the physicochemical properties are remarkable for an orally administered drug. I will note that many antibacterials are natural product derivatives and do have physicochemical properties that fall outside the boundaries of traditional oral drug space. Zoliflodacin is not a natural product or derived from a natural product. Along those lines, the old-school medical language distinguished between the terms antibiotic and antibacterial. Traditionally, antibiotic refers to natural products that treat bacterial infections. Antibacterial refers to any compound, natural or synthetic, that treats bacterial infections. I will note that the marketing materials for NUZOLVENCE repeatedly refer to the drug as an antibiotic, which flies in the face of the old rules. The prescribing information insert, however, which is much more tightly regulated, aside from one general instance, exclusively uses the term antibacterial, not antibiotic. Let's move to PK properties. Zoliflodacin is an interesting compound because patients of different weights are advised to take the drug differently, some fasted and others in the fed state. For this reason, the PK properties for zoliflodacin are broken out based on whether the patient is fasted or fed. The difference is not crazy, but the difference is important enough to recommend different dosing practices between groups of patients. Note that the Tmax for the fed patients is longer than the fasted patients, as one would expect. For metabolism and excretion, oxidative metabolism is primarily through CYP3A4 and 5, and non-CYP mediated pathways also play a role. The prescribing information does not call out any specific metabolites, active or inactive. The drug and drug-related material are primarily excreted via the feces, essentially all as metabolites. The warnings for NUZOLVENCE include embryo-fetal toxicity, testicular toxicity, hypersensitivity, and diarrhea. Diarrhea is a common warning for antibacterial compounds as they disrupt the microbiome along the GI tract. Adverse reactions observed in at least 2% of all patients include a mix of laboratory abnormalities and other patient symptoms such as neutropenia, headache, leukopenia, dizziness, nausea, and diarrhea. That brings us to the end of the NDA approval of NUZOLVENCE, which was announced by the U.S. FDA on December 12th of 2025. NUZOLVENCE contains zoliflodacin as its active pharmaceutical ingredient. NUZOLVENCE is approved for the treatment of uncomplicated urogenital gonorrhea. Please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Take care.